later.
Welcome to part one. This will explain the manipulation and lies from all these different record companies that had music managers, promoters, executives, backhand deals, backsliding deals that were made that contribute to everything that happened with Biggie Smalls and with Tupac and with Eazy-E. All is linked.
Like I said in the last video, everything starts from the top. Heller was a person that I want to say loved and stars was on his side at the time when hip hop was coming out. He saw something bigger than what other record companies were seeing. He was linked to Priority and later Interscope, and that's going to mean something later in some of these videos because these dealings had him in a situation where he was able to make this offer with Eazy-E to become his co-owner. First, you have to understand we had a subsidiary deal, we had a distribution deal, and we had a parent company deal. Why is those important? Because everything links back to what the advantages that the people up top had over the music industry at that time that caused people to make certain decisions that they probably would have never made if they would have knew the aspects of what they had to do to be able to run a company. Difference between Priority Records and Interscope Records was Interscope didn't give a damn what the FBI or the top head governors had to say about who was they were going to put on their label, but they didn't have no people to put on the label at that time. But Priority was already deep in the game because they had some R&B soul singers and R&B legends on there, and they had some rock legends on there coming from Heller's group with Kissville that he had formed to manage music for people to be able to be the plug. Basically, he was the plug. So when he seen that this young black man was about to make all of this money Eazy-E, that's when he came in to do what he had to do. And in the process of him doing that, what he did was start with what was important. And what was important was he had to see the talent. Once he seen the other talent that could be on the rascal, then that's when everything was pulled in. You would say, what do this have to do with Tupac and Biggie Smalls? It have everything to do. This set in motion on how business was being done in the music industry for young black hip hop and rappers that were coming out at that particular moment. And this was leading to a boiling pot that eventually a decade later exploded in everybody's face. You gotta how this is going. If you are a part of the distribution deal, you getting a percentage off of that. If you are part of the record company, then if you a partner or a co-owner, you getting a deal off of that. So he was double dipping so much. Plus he was still getting stuff from other record companies. So that's why when Ice Cube, if y'all seen Straight Outta Compton, the movie, he went in there and bust up Priority Records, is because Priority had a plug to everybody that was involved. So the distribution, if you go back and look at some of NWA records, came from up under Priority being their main distributor for their company. You have to keep in mind that Ruthless Records was a record company that had artists, they had subsidiary contracts, distribution, marketing, and partnership. The distribution deal is what set off Motion, because it's another interview where this is where all the other players is starting to come in now, because NWA didn't have the fallout. So now he got somebody in his ear. A main person named was Suge Knight. Suge had knew all the business because he was around. He was listening. He was ear hustling. Everyone have to remember he started off as a bodyguard. He wanted to be a bodyguard for Eazy-E, but Eazy-E didn't trust him. Eazy-E did not trust Suge. So he ended up maneuvering his way to be the bodyguard for Dr. Dre. So that's how Suge came into the setting. So he feeding Dre what he need to feed him about, okay, Heller doing this and doing that, okay? So now Suge plotting. He know that he don't have no pull to get any kind of record label, distribution deal, anything. So why not tell Dre, let's start a label, huh? Just something to think about. And another thing to think about, if he had such a problem with Eazy-E, speaking to Suge Knight, why he didn't ever try to go after Ruthless Records? That's something to think about. So you would say, what do all this have to do with Biggie and Tupac again? Because these deals that was set in motion by Heller a decade before everything else happened is what caused all of this to blow up in everybody's face. Once the distribution and record labels were being passed out, people were starting to get attitudes, they were starting to get jealous, they were starting to get envy, and some of them wanted revenge. There were also marketing deals also. And the other thing that's important to know was that Interscope signed Tupac in 1991. That was their first major artist on. This young guy named Sean Combs that's work at Uptown Records. Uptown Records then got in some trouble. Andre Harrell then fired him. He didn't win no. He then tried to talk to people up top to help him. And guess who the people was?